Hey, Jeff, do you know what type of podcast we are?
Well, we're not a history podcast.
That's correct. We're a comedy podcast. So any jokes, skits, or anything else we say is not reflective of our organizations, businesses, or any sponsors that we're associated with, even charities. So remind yourself, if you're offended, it's okay. It's just a joke.
Comic books, movies, growing up with Rokusuki. Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Man, that's something. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale was just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Princess Leia in bikinis and Transformer Lamborghinis. Please don't let Shia LaBeouf ever act again. Please, God, no. Remembering tales from the crypt, back when Michael Bay wrote good scripts. He wrote the scripts. All right here is no mystery. It's the history of bad. It's bad. It's the history of bad. So bad. It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad. It's bad. It's the history of bad. So bad. It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas special episode / Pittsburgh Nerd special episode. I'm Jason.
And I'm Sean, the Body Coon.
There you go. Welcome, Sean. Two times we have done this now. We're on a roll.
We are.
We do this one more time. That's called a streak, just
that
to let you know.
Streak, yes. Yeah, that is. That's a very good, astute observation.
Yes. We are here for the Royal Rumble preview. So I'm excited for this. It is coming up. It's my favorite pay-per-view for WWE, and it's even better than WrestleMania. So Sean and I are going to have take a little time, kind of break down all the matches, and for once we get to talk wrestling without any assholes interrupting us.
Exactly.
So before we get to WWE, Sean, did you see Timeless Tony Storm came back last night?
I did. Yeah.
You know, I love Tony Storm. I've always loved her. She's amazing. And I have to admit, it was funny seeing her come back and like her mood change. But yeah. I don't know if she really needs the title. I don't really know. So
the problem with the AEW women's division is it's Tony Storm, it's Mariah May, and it's nobody else.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there's nobody there. And I mean, and there's some very good wrestlers. I like Chris Statlander. I like Willow Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
I like Deonna Purrazzo, who, it's like that. The problem with Tony Khan is like he got Deonna Purrazzo. He had a new toy. He played with her for a little bit, and now she's in the toy box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they don't really build up people
and keep them there.
No, at all. And it's frustrating because it's like I don't want to see Tony Storm with the title again.
No, I agree.
Like, and it's the same problem with the men's side with, Moxley. What is this, his fifth title reign?
It feels like a fifth title reign.
Yeah. Like, I mean, and this was probably his worst.
Yes, I agree.
But it's just like they have this, unless you have already like this cachet, like they just don't build it for the most part with guys and gals.
They don't. And Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, whatever, she's fine. And I think it was a good signing by them because they got somebody big. But at the same time, I don't care about her right now. I don't care about her title. She's not losing it for a long time. And there's no competition. Like, I agree. I love Chris Statlander. But like, she hasn't won anything. And it's like, give it to somebody new and see what they can do with it. So yeah, it's kind of surprising because outside of the people you mentioned, who else do they have in the women's division that they've built up at all? Nobody.
Right. And like, I mean, they've had some like, Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
Who I liked a lot. Nyla Rose.
Yeah.
And like, those were originals. and they've kind of been cast to the side. And then there's the Britt Baker controversy.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever coming back.
No, I don't think so either.
It'll be interesting to see what she does. She said that she's happy just running her dental program or her dental office. I don't know if WWE would take her. I think TNA could, but I don't.
I think she could end up at TNA just because of their schedule.
Yeah.
Like even with WWE scaling back their schedule, like they say that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think it works for her being on the road. 150 to 200 days a year.
Yeah, I agree. And the sad thing is, I liked Britt Baker when she first came on, and I still do. I don't think she's changed much in terms of her ring style. I don't think she's gotten better since she started in AEW, but I don't think she's horrible. I mean, I enjoy her character. I think she's funny. I think she pops the crowd enough. But I agree with you. I don't think she's ever coming back to AEW, which is a shame because she was a big name for them.
She was. She was like their first real women's star.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that got to her head.
Mm-hmm.
That because she even came off bitchy when they did that unfiltered or whatever it was that she came off bad.
Yes.
Even I was like, "Whoo, you were not a good person."
No, that's the behind the scenes stuff you're talking about, right? The reality show. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that reality show, and she was part of that, and I didn't even I'm thinking oh, it's a reality show. No, she did not come off good at all.
She didn't.
And it's that thing of I get it. You're juggling two jobs, two high demand jobs at that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in a situation where you kind of got to pick one of them at some point.
Yes.
And if you spend 8 years of your life, to get to be a dentist, maybe that's what you should focus on then.
Which I think she's going to.
Yeah, because I also think that time she had off, which apparently she had a lot of problems during that time period.
Mm-hmm.
But when she came back, you could tell there was a ton of ring rust on her.
Yeah, she struggled a lot.
She did. The few matches she had since her return were bad matches.
Yeah,
and I don't like Mercedes Moné because you put a microphone in front of her and that's her worst enemy. But in the ring, she is fantastic. And if you can't have a good match with her.
Yeah, and that's why I think she was a good signing. I agree. Her interviews are awful, but she can propel the women's division in terms of match quality, which she has. But I don't know what they do. I mean, not to go on this tangent because we're doing the Rumble, but
right.
AEW is, and we talked about it last time, AEW is struggling right now, and I don't watch it as much as I used to, which is a shame because I used to watch that all the time. And it's just, they're pushing Powerhouse Hobbs again. Great. How long is that going to last?
Exactly.
And I think that's a big disconnect with the fans is because they're like, well, if we get behind him, are they going to just, cut his legs out? They did the same thing with Wardlow 3 times. Who's MIA?
Here's the problem. So that they've got a plan for the world title. I don't know this to be true, but
mm-hmm.
To me, this is just what makes the most sense. Moxley holds that title until All in Texas.
Okay.
Their big stadium show. At Double or Nothing, before that show takes place, Darby Allin has returned from Machu Picchu.
Mm-hmm.
Right now he is off climbing. He's either off training or getting ready to go to Mount Everest.
Yes. Yeah.
Which the climbing season runs from March to May.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes the most sense, which is why they wrote him off at the end of the year on the last Rampage,
mm-hmm.
where they threw him down the steps and broke his neck. So he can be written off so he can go climb Mount Everest. He comes back. and then he returns at Double or Nothing, and that sets it up for All In, where Darby Allin becomes the champion.
And then Christian Cage cashes in.
And then Christian Cage cashes in, yes.
I really do think that's what's going to happen. Because how long is Cage going to hold on to this, right? At this point, I'm just like, oh my God, just cash it in.
This is as bad as Austin Theory with the...
Money in the Bank, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, like right now, who are their top guys?
Edge.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Cope.
A 57-year-old or 52, whatever he is, Adam Copeland, Christian, who's a 50-something, Jericho, who's a 50-something,
Moxley,
who why he's 40,
MJF.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't even put MJF because he's about to have a feud with Jared, who's 57.
Oh my gosh.
They just put the tag belts on Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, who are both in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It was like what was supposed to be the rival brand and the brand that goes younger and stronger, and all they've done is they've kind of taken WWE retreads and made them their own.
They have, yeah.
And it's funny, like if you go on Max right now, and you watch AEW shows from year one,
mm-hmm.
and you compare it to now, it is such a vast difference in just what they were doing.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Dynamite, the very first 3, a couple weeks ago, just because I was like, man, that first episode was really awesome. Even with Jericho getting his group out there, it was great.
In a circle at that time,
yeah. And then you watch now, and you're like, what the hell, Sammy Guevara, or however he says, I've never said his name right. I know he's got issues, but he's not there anymore. Ricky Starks that we talked about last time, he's missing in action. Wardlow's missing in action. It's like, oh my gosh, those 3 guys you should have built. Why Ricky Starks is not the face of this company is the greatest mystery in wrestling I've ever seen. And it's because the rumor is that he pissed off Edge. And it's like, if that's what you're holding yourself to, that's a horrible issue. Issue. I don't even care about Jungle Boy, whatever. Fucking Elite. I don't give a shit about the Young Bucks. I don't care about Jack Perry. Perry's fine as a villain, but I don't care. But yeah, I don't know how they went off the rails this quick, which is a shame. I want them out there, and I'm glad they are out there because I like more wrestling out there, but it's tough to watch.
You can point to 2 things that have created the downfall of AEW, and that was Cody Rhodes leaving, mm-hmm. and the whole thing with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Those 2 things, and when you lost Cody, for my money, you lost the heart and soul of AEW.
You did, and I think you lost the yin to the yang of the Bucks and Omega, and I think Omega is so far. I think, and again, just from looking at it, watching it, I think Omega is obviously friends with the Young Bucks and that, but I don't think he has as much say as people think. I think the Young Bucks have a lot of say, and I think Cody was a good counter to that. And then once you left, it just was over. And I don't think it's the downfall. I don't think the Bucks have made the downfall or anything, but I don't think there's that person in there that reels other ones in. It's like Vince Russo, right? You always had to have someone reel him back in, and when he didn't, it was a disaster. And I think that's what happened with Cody when he left. You didn't have anyone to reel them in.
Or Tony.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
We may never know what happened that caused that rift.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we're talking about the guy who, their very first pay-per-view, took a sledgehammer to Triple H's throne.
Yeah.
Everything Cody did during his time in AEW was clearly meant to take shots at WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, well, what I really always wanted was the WWE title.
Yeah.
Nah, man, something happened where your heart got broken and you had to go back.
On a side note, watching SmackDown Saturday Night's main event this week, I love Kevin Owens calling him a quitter. When things got tough, you quit. 10 years, and I stayed. And that was funny, like just giving him hell for he left AEW he left for AEW because he's like, basically, you didn't like that you were Stardust or, the Cody Rhodes and you couldn't do anything. I thought that was hilarious. I love Kevin Owens in that role.
The Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes feud right now has been the feud that has made his title reign.
It has.
Like, this is the feud he needed.
Mm-hmm.
That nobody else could give him. And God bless Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens. And I love this version of Kevin Owens. Because he's that thing that we always talk about on our podcast, that he's the villain that you kind of agree with.
Yep. I agree.
You're like, yeah, you make a good point. I don't like how you're going about things, but you've made some solid points I could stand behind. And like I love that about, like, he's right. Like, you sided with Roman Reigns, the man who for 4 years I tried to dethrone and made my life a living hell, and and all this stuff. Like, it Kevin Owens' character work here has been top notch.
Do you think to get into the Rumble, nice little segue here, do you think he wins the championship ladder match against Cody?
I don't know.
You don't? You got Cody?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Kevin Owens have a run with the belt. I really would. Because he deserves it. I think like you mentioned, like, he talked about, like, he didn't cut and run like Cody did. And if there was two guys who had every right to quit, it was him and Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vince McMahon treated them like clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it wasn't until Triple H got to take over that you got to see the real Sami Zayn and the real Kevin Owens.
Correct.
Like, it was like they were brought up from NXT roster. And I mean, and you can go all the way back to Ring of Honor with, when Zayn was El Generico,
mm-hmm.
allegedly.
Allegedly. No proof of that.
There's no proof of that.
No proof.
But, like, the wars they had in Ring of Honor and the wars they had in NXT, like, those guys were, they're not traditional WWE superstars, but man, on the main roster, they should have shined. And Vince was just like, what am I going to do with this? This is not what I know. I don't deal with this.
Can you make poop jokes? I don't understand.
Yeah. And I mean, I know Sammy's talked about, like, I'm proud of that match, but like, and it's a fun match for what it is, but like the whole thing with the Jackass crew at WrestleMania, like, man, Sami Zayn's better than that. Sami Zayn elevated that match.
He did.
And I mean, like, you go all the way back to, like, when he was like the conspiracy theory podcaster and stuff like that. Like, oh man, Sami Zayn, you deserve so much better.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, like, Kevin Owens, like, when he had that feud with Elias or his brother or whatever. I mean,
Elijah, like,
yeah, like, that was so bad, and I felt awful for him. But he gave it his all.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, man, you deserve better than this. And like, now under Triple H, it's like, this is Kevin Owens. This is the Kevin Owens I want to see.
So I do think it's funny. I wonder, and again, we have no backing on this, but speculation. So when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they both signed a 5-year deal about 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
If you look at their matches like you just went through, there's no way they should have re-signed. And people were like, they're going to AEW, they're going to kick some ass, whatever. But you wonder why they didn't, and you wonder if Triple H was like, shit's coming down, he's not going to be in charge anymore, I will be, stick with us. And I wonder if that's the reason that they re-signed. I don't know.
And I also wonder if the reason was just, like, at that time, were they just like, man, I don't know if the grass is greener.
Yeah. And we're getting paid good money.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting paid really good money. Like Tony Khan will probably match or double it or something because that's what Tony Khan does.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was like, I wonder if they were just like, man, I don't know. Like I think that's a question a lot of people have to ask about. Like, if I'm becoming a free agent, is AEW the right spot for me now?
It used to be 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Now, I don't think it is.
Right. And like AEW, like if I'm in charge of AEW, I'm doing two things. I'm doing a brand split.
Yeah.
I'm having this is the Dynamite crew, this is the Collision crew.
Yeah.
And the second thing I'm doing is I'm reinstating the rankings, and I'm expanding them from a top 5 to a top 10.
I love the rankings. I love the records. I love all that.
And this is why I would do it, because they love having just rando matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're like Swerve Strickland against AR Fox on Dynamite last week. The only reason that match exists is because Swerve and AR Fox are good friends and they just want to have another match together.
Yeah.
But from a storytelling standpoint or anything else, it makes no sense. If you take those rankings and you expand them to a top 10, now you're saying, well, all right, Swerve is the number 3 ranked competitor in the men's division, and AR Fox is number 9.
Mm-hmm.
So now this has meaning in the rankings, because if AR Fox can get the upset win, that's going to move him up in the rankings.
Yep.
Like this is the stuff you can do now where you can say, I can have this random match for no reason. It has no story behind it unless you know the history of these guys going back to Lucha Underground and shit.
Correct.
This is why we're having this match, because it matters to the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can do that type of stuff. But more important, what you also end up doing is you building championship caliber people because the rankings matter.
Yeah. So it's okay that if somebody moves up the rankings, gets a title shot, and it's not just a random shot.
Right.
No, I agree with you. I think that would help.
They gave Lashley and Shelton Benjamin a title shot for the tag team titles against Private Party.
Mm-hmm.
They wrestled one tag team match and one trios match.
Yeah. Yeah.
But MVP came out and said, well, because we beat the shit out of Private Party in a trios match, that makes us the number 1 contenders. Like,
yeah.
What?
We're 2-0.
Yeah. How the fuck does that work?
Because it goes back to Tony's new toys.
Yeah, exactly. And so it like, yes, like that's how that should work. Like the rankings matter. Like I remember coming out of the St. Patrick's Day Massacre, lights out match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Britt was pissed because after that match, she was in the top 5. So she was wrestling on Dynamite and she was wrestling on Dark every week, racking up wins. And then every week you'd see her climbing the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Until she got in position to be the number 1 contender for the world title.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And she worked her ass off. Like she was putting in good matches to rank up those wins. And it was like, okay, this is again storytelling at its best.
Yep. And it's a safety net for storytelling, which is good.
It is, because that's what you need. Like I love that they put on random matches and put 2 guys together who could like put on a banger.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. But if there's no story behind it, like why am I watching this?
Correct. So we'll go to WWE here.
Yes.
So you pick Cody, I picked Kevin. I'm picking Kevin Owens. I'm picking Kevin.
Okay. No,
I'm
I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if that happens. But it's like that thing of like, I just don't think it will, because it's a weird thing of like, okay, like what are they doing for WrestleMania? I guess that's the thing that's kind of up in the air at this point then.
I think it's Sammy versus Owens for the title.
That would be amazing.
I think Cody loses the title. He's not pinned, so that helps, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think they need a refresher. I think because if you look at title, and let's do this. We'll segue right into the men's Royal Rumble match. Okay.
Okay.
So with that being said, I don't know who wins the Royal Rumble. Obviously, we got to make a pick. I don't know if Sami Zayn wins it because I don't think he's strong enough to win it. I think they need a big name this year to win, and I don't know who it is. But I think Cody loses the title to Owens, and then there's a couple ways you could go about it. You could have him face John Cena. That could be one way. But I'm trying to figure out who gets into a feud with Cody after this. Do you have The Rock? I mean, that's the one option is if The Rock comes back. You would think it would be Rock versus Roman, but they seem to have called on that a lot.
Yeah. Like you thought, like that with the first Raw on Netflix.
Oh my God! Can we not talk about that? That was so bad. Raws have been great on Netflix since then. They've been good.
Yeah,
but that match that was awful.
But like, when The Rock comes down, you're thinking like, oh, this is it. He's gonna, not acknowledge the tribal chief, or he's gonna say he's the true tribal. Again, you thought something was, and nothing happened. I'm like, wow, that was.
I'm a good guy again. Don't mind me. So there's a big part of me that thinks The Rock doesn't come back for WrestleMania. Right. But with that being said, I don't know who else. I just feel like I don't know if Cody. He's had 2 main events in a row at WrestleMania, and I could see Triple H going, you know what, Sammy and Kevin is a good story. It's a long story. It's like Batman and the Joker. So let's do it one time at WrestleMania, and give Sammy his moment. It's like it's like an Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit moment at WrestleMania 20. When they hug at the end.
So let's say this. Let's say Cena wins the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Does he challenge Gunther for the world title, making that the day 2 main event because it's Cena's last WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
And you put Owens and Sami Zayn night 1. You have Sami win the Elimination Chamber,
mm-hmm.
and now it's Sami and Owens night 1, Cena and Gunther night 2.
I could see that. I could see Cena winning. There's a part of me that thinks somebody in the Rumble eliminates Cena as a surprise, and then that's how that feud is set up. So Cena doesn't go for the championship at WrestleMania. I think the story writes itself that Cena could win the Rumble. He goes for the epic, historic 17th championship reign at WrestleMania. I don't think he wins it, but he could. I mean, I'm not sure. There's a lot, and that's why I do like the men's Rumble this year. There's a lot of stories you can go with.
Right.
You can have that with Cena. I don't think CM Punk, like going through the big names here that are listed, I don't see CM Punk winning. I think his feud continues with Seth Rollins, and I think those two wrestle at WrestleMania. So that, personally, that would eliminate Rollins for me too. Roman Reigns, I don't see it, because who does he face if Reigns wins? Cody again? I mean, if Cody wins, I don't see it.
That would be the match. It would be him and Cody.
Yeah, for a third time, but I think that's a tough sell. I think
3 years in a row, it's a tough sell.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need like a year or two space, and then you have that third
tiebreaker.
Yeah. I think like if you don't have Roman facing The Rock at WrestleMania, then you have to have him face Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Because that's what Drew is on a mission of retribution against any member of the bloodline.
Correct.
So, like, that's how that has to kind of culminate, I would think.
Personally, I think they shot their wad too soon. I think they should have done Bloodline versus the new Bloodline versus the OG Bloodline at WrestleMania. Even though they've done it to death, like Solo and Reigns, and then once the new Bloodline loses, then Jacob Fatu just turns on Solo, which is happening sooner than later, I think. I mean, that was people love Jacob Fatu, And I think what he did last night was amazing.
Destroy Braun Strowman last
night. Oh, my God. It was so great.
I mean, I was just like, I mean, I knew what Jacob Fatu was capable of, but like watching that, and I felt bad for Braun Strowman because like he's just a man out of time. Like he should have been like in the 80s. He should have been fed to Hogan. He should have been fed to the Undertaker. Like that's where he deserves to be. He's better than but to have like Jacob Fatu just destroy him like that.
Did you see, Sean? I feel pretty confident you and I could run faster than Braun did last night. Oh my gosh. So I turned it on and he was running around the ring, and my oldest son he used to watch it. Now he's like, oh, it's so fake. And I was like, it's scripted. Shut up. And my daughter really loves wrestling. So we were watching it, and even my wife looked up and she's like, oh my gosh, he's in slow motion. And I was like, this is not good. This is not the runaway train he used to be. I mean, that thing was awful. He was just slow. That's
after you watched Braun Breaker.
Yes.
Like run around the ring at 22 miles an hour.
Yes. And then you got Braun Strowman that's going backwards because he's moving so slow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. I think Shawn Michaels could move faster than Braun right now. I was like, poor guy.
That was rough.
It was. But again, I think he's had a lot of leg and knee injuries. I think his back. I mean, I think you're right. If you put him in the 80s and 90s, he would have been dominant. He would have been amazing.
Yeah.
It was a good match for Jacob Fatu to just destroy someone.
And somebody like that.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that he's the real deal.
Yeah.
For those of people who didn't know.
Did you see that comment from Baron Corbin, now Tom Pescock or whatever his name is, that basically he wasn't happy because I guess one of the ideas was he was going to get destroyed by Jacob Fatu. And he's like, yeah, basically Triple H just wants bodies for Fatu to go through. And I wasn't keen on that. And it's like, well, that's his job to build them up. Like your job is to make Fatu the next big thing. If you're going to be told that's happening, it's happening. Like, I don't get it. And obviously now he's a free agent. And I don't think that's the only reason. But it was just kind of interesting that he wasn't like sold on, well, I don't think I should be one of the bodies. It's like, no, you should. If Braun's willing to do it, you probably should too, Baron. No offense.
Yeah. That guy, like, I get, like, again, I will give Baron Corbin all the credit in the world. Like, when he was in NXT, when he was the Lone Wolf initially, like, that was an amazing run. And then he goes to WWE, and he gets a lot of shit pies, and he made the best of those shit pies. Like, when he was, you know, bum-ass Baron Corbin, and, you know, like, with the mustard on the shirt and everything, like,
yes,
he worked that, like, he worked that gimmick as hard as anybody could. And when he was, you know, happy Baron Corbin, he worked that, like, and I mean, he had the match with McAfee at SummerSlam only because they were friends.
Yeah.
Like they were both on the Colts, and they they talked about it, like, you know, we were both with the Colts, we were both rookies, and we talked wrestling all the time. We talked about, well, if this doesn't work out, let's go to a wrestling camp. Like that's what they were talking about. Like, so, like, I give him all the credit in the world, and I get, like, where you may have got yourself a bit of an ego where you're like, you know, I'm better than that. Like, I'm better than being fed to Jacob Fatu. So I get his point, but I get yours as well. We're like, yeah, but, you know, you kind of had your spot.
Yep.
You know, and that spot is, at this point, you get fed to Jacob Fatu.
And Jacob Fatu is going to be headlining WrestleMania next year.
Yeah. And I mean, in all honesty, like, you know, he's probably going to do really good in TNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and TNA may be on the way of being the number 2 company.
I think this time next year it will be. And I think part of the reason is just because of Joe Hendry, baby. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Well, it's that thing like when they what was that guy's name? I can't remember. That's a sin. When they fired the one guy, the guy who was like their head writer.
Oh, Scott D'Amore.
Scott D'Amore, yes.
Yeah.
Like I thought, oh man, that is going to hurt them.
Yes.
And they have just thrived.
They have.
Like this may be one of the greatest comeback stories of all time.
Them and cockroaches are the only thing that's going to survive the nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
they've been 25 years now, 20 years. It's unbelievable.
And I mean, like they had some down periods.
They did.
Like after Hogan kind of destroyed what was TNA, and then they had the partnership with AEW, and Kenny Omega was the Impact champion, and it was just like their business didn't improve.
No. Which is a shame because the AEW thing could have helped them a lot. I was looking forward to that, and then it just fizzled. It was like, okay, that was it. Have a good day.
Yeah. Kenny Omega didn't even lose the Impact title on Impact Television.
Correct. Yeah.
He lost that here in Pittsburgh on the first Rampage to Christian.
Yeah.
And it was just that thing of like, it just never worked out the way that you thought it would.
No.
And then you see their partnership with WWE, and they've signed a 5-year deal to work with each other.
Which is tremendous.
It is. And something Vince never would have done.
No. Fuck those guys.
Yeah. But I mean, but they do it smartly. It's like, okay, well, we're going to have you work with our NXT people.
Yeah.
Like we're going to bring it to the main roster and embarrass you.
Which TNA guys or women do you think are going to show up at the Rumble? Do you think Hendry does? Because I think he does. I think he definitely does. I think he does it with because I think he was at the Rumble last year. I think he might have been.
But he shows up this year with the TNA title.
Yeah, and I also think Nick Nemeth, Ziggler, comes in too.
Yeah, I don't think he does because he said he's not interested in it.
Really? Oh, okay. Well,
I saw an interview with him, and they were asking him about the partnership and going over, and he's like, "Look, I just left there. I don't think it's that interesting. I was there for 20 years. It's not like they don't know who I am."
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that, he's like, maybe in the future, maybe a year or two down the road, maybe I would be interested. But right now, he's like, I just left that place.
I'm fine with that then. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Grace is going to be there because I think she signed with WWE.
Yeah, I think she makes her WWE debut in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when the women's side they send, I can't remember what the woman's name is, but yeah, I think they send the champ.
Yeah.
Because she's appeared, I believe, already on.
Is that Slamovich?
She's appeared on NXT once or twice already.
Okay.
Yeah, Mila Slamovich. Yeah.
Yeah, Slamovich. Yeah.
So I think she shows up. I think it's the two champs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else is in there that you could do. I don't think Santana's a big enough name. I'm trying
to. It's a shame because Mike Santana would. I like him a lot. Like I'm.
I do too.
AEW.
Mm-hmm. I would love for him to show up, but I don't know if he's a big enough name that people would cheer. I mean, I think they would, but yeah. I don't think it's a huge oh my gosh, Santana's there. I could see Josh Alexander showing up.
Yeah.
Because he's, in theory, going to be a free agent soon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Hendry pops just because I think... So I think for the long-term guy in the Rumble, I could see Hendry staying in there. I could see him coming in at 3 to 5 and staying until, 25 or something. I could see him lasting and getting that award this year. That's at least my thought. Because the fans love him. It gives TNA a nice little feather in the cap, and stays. I don't
Because
think
they did it with Jordan Grace last year. Like
they
she
did.
lasted a long
They did.
time.
And she looked phenomenal in it. They did a
Yeah.
hell of a job with her. So who's your pick for the Rumble? I mean, the men's Rumble. Sorry.
That one,
Ugh.
you've kind of talked me into.
Sammy?
Well, no, no. I think I talked about because I was thinking Sammy for a second. Then I was like, no. I think it's Cena.
Yeah.
Like I could I just because it would be a massive selling point that it's John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
He's going for number 17, and it's his last WrestleMania.
And I think he would tie Austin for the most wins in the Rumble. I think that's the thing. Let's see how many wins does Cena have in the Rumble? How many times? I know it's at least twice, right?
I think so, yeah.
Let's see. The first thing it says is the world's strongest man has never won the Royal Rumble. That's not what I wrote. John Cena is a 2-time Royal Rumble champion.
Okay.
So, okay. So he would tie Austin then because Austin has 3.
Yeah.
So I could see that. See, now I'm getting talked into Cena. Damn it.
Yeah.
But I really don't want him to. I mean, I don't mind Cena. I really don't. But I don't see anyone else. Like I said, we just went through it. Nakamura's not winning it. LA Knight would be nice, but I don't see him having a feud with maybe Kevin Owens, but I don't know if that really sells for WrestleMania. I don't know if he faces Gunther. I don't know if that's really a selling point. And I feel like he's kind of cold off. Now, he's still popular, but I don't think the time was last year or 2 years ago for him to win the Rumble if he's going to win. And then Jey Uso, you know what? Jey Uso was actually one of my picks, or up until last night when he lost. If they didn't do that match last night, I would have been like, ooh, Jey Uso's a good pick for the Rumble. But I can't see it. I really don't.
No, neither do I. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what would be, like, outside of Roman, like, if you're not doing Rock Roman,
Yeah.
like, and you don't want Roman Cody 3, like,
Yeah.
how do you kind of play this?
I think you talked me into Roman tossing Drew out over the ropes, and then Drew coming back in and eliminating Romans, and those two guys fight to the back.
Yeah, and then that sets up
Yep.
You know,
I say it's going to be. I think the final 4 could be Cena, Zayn, because then that gets him into the Elimination Chamber.
right?
Punk. I think it's got to be Punk,
Yeah,
and maybe Rollins.
yeah.
I don't see Mysterio having it. I do like that they pushed they teased Mysterio versus Owens. I like that aspect of it because then it's like, oh, well, he does have a shot at winning this. He doesn't, but you at least are making it convincing, like at SmackDown when they were talking trash to each other. It's like, okay, now there's a shot.
If you want a wild card in that final 4, just because they're treating him like he's the biggest star ever out of Mexico, I could see Penta being in that final 4.
Oh, that would be good. That would be nice. I like Penta. I like Penta a lot. Yeah, that could be a good. My other wild card for the final 4 is Joe Hendry. I mean, not that they're going to do it, but how crazy would that be, and how much publicity they would get if Hendry won it, right? He's not going to. Right. I get that.
Yeah.
But I could see him being in the Final 4. I could see CM Punk and Rollins eliminating each other, being the Final 6. Those two eliminate each other, like both at the same time, or Hendry eliminating them both or something like that because they're, they're so consumed with each other. Yeah. Poor Nakamura. He's doing really good work, but sorry, buddy, you're not going to be in it. You're not going to be it.
I think like he's good in his spot with like the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Like I feel like him and L.A. Knight and like Austin Theory and like guys like they're perfect in that spot with the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just can't see them being elevated to that world title status, but that's the title that those guys can run with and have feuds with, and they can pass it around.
I just love that Nakamura has actually had a pretty good a pretty good run in WWE, and nobody remembers it. He's won the Rumble. He went against AJ Styles at WrestleMania. You just don't see. I mean, he's won the U.S. title. He's won the Intercontinental title. Like, he's had a decent run, but he's another guy that they start and stop on. So, well, Vince McMahon did.
Yeah.
And maybe part of it is just Nakamura's like, I don't give a shit. Because the run joke was that he just loves surfing. So he's like, yeah, I'm in WWE. I surf and I wrestle. Have a good day. So, yeah. So you're going Cena for sure. Are you locking it in?
I am. I'm locking in Cena. Just because I really feel like that's got to be like it's his final WrestleMania. He's going to main event. He's got he's going to go for, because like he even talked about like, well, how do I get in? How do I get myself into the title picture? Why win the World Rumble? Like, like he's meant, like if it wasn't for the fact that he had mentioned it, like, I feel like, okay, yeah, that's I feel like you're locking him in for that.
And I'm going Cena too. I'm, as boring as that is, that we both agree. I do, and again, that's why I do like this Rumble, because there's a lot of options. I picture it in my mind, somebody eliminating Cena though. And again, I do think Cena's going to win, and I don't know who. But the one option you could do is Cena gets eliminated, and I picture it already in my head, the camera focusing on him, the cameraman, and him just looking sad and just, like, damn, that was my one chance. Because I do think that there is an opportunity that he could win it at SummerSlam, and then kind of go the Daniel Bryan route. He'll lose it in November or December. But I think WrestleMania makes the most sense, like you said. It's the biggest event of the year. It's Cena. He's going for 17. I think you put him in that shot.
And then he drops it at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which is now, I believe, a 2-night event.
Is it? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
That's fine. Technically, I think the Rumble should be a 2-night event. You should have the women's on one and the men's on the other. I think to break it up, but...
the only problem with that is, it's like... like who's doing double duty?
Yeah,
because you'd have like this card, and doesn't even have to, only has 4 matches on it. Mm-hmm. The 2 World Rumbles, the ladder match for the world title, and the Motor City Machine Guns against DIY in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Can't wait.
Now that tag team match is going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
But that's it, because the Royal Rumble matches are so long.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I feel like the Rumble is perfect for one night, because those matches are so long, and they're like mini matches within a match, and the excitement of like who's coming out next. I feel like the Rumble's perfect for one night. Survivor Series is perfect for one night. But
personally, Survivor Series, again, we talked about this last time. They should go back to the elimination matches, to be honest.
At least one on each side. Like that would be perfect.
My thing is, I do wonder next year, the Royal Rumbles in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
The women have to be clothed pretty much fully. And I do wonder if they do the women's Rumble somewhere else. I don't know if they will, but I could see it. I could see them. I mean,
the other side of that is, and I've heard the women talk about this, is those, for lack of a better term, cat suits that they have to wear are so hot that nobody's lasting
No.
Like, you're not going to have somebody go
45 minutes.
40, 50 minutes.
No.
So.
And to be honest, let's call a spade a spade. And I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole, politics or anything else. The Saudi Arabia fans are not huge women wrestling fans, right?
No, they're not.
So I don't think the Rumble match, the women's Rumble match, I think would be a disaster over there, to be honest with you. I could see them separate it next year for that reason. I don't know if they will, but I think it would be interesting. I could see them doing it. But I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, but I just don't see how you do a women's Rumble over there. And like you said, I think those catsuits are going to be awful. I think you're right. 45 minutes in that, you're going to lose 38 pounds.
Yeah. You're going to be reaching under that ring for water.
Yeah. And then Titus will be there. Hey, I'm here. Poor Titus. Greatest thing ever. People are like online, I think he tried it on purpose. I don't care. Even if it was, I don't think it was, but even if it was, it's still the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole's reaction to it was the greatest thing.
The only thing better than that was like anytime Michael Cole used to like just completely berate the rapper guy.
Oh, is that Bull Buchanan? No. Shoot.
He was on like that Lost Treasures show.
Yeah. Who is it?
And now he's in TNA.
Hold on. Oh, AJ Francis.
AJ Francis.
Yes.
Yeah. But I can't remember what his name was in WWE.
Oh, well, but yeah.
But yeah, like any like I don't know what like if like he owed Michael Cole money, but like it felt like it was real. Like Michael Cole was like, yeah, this guy sucks. Like just like would not put him over. And then when he botched, Michael Cole like pointed out.
Yes. Every time.
Every fucking time. It was like, does he owe you like a large sum of money? Did you catch him with your wife? Like what the fuck? Because like
top dollar. That's what he was.
Top dollar. Yeah. Like anytime like there was that one time like he tried doing a swanton over the top rope and completely like damn near killed himself.
Yes.
And Michael Cole was like, well, that's what that fat fuck gets for trying to go over the top rope.
How dare he actually try to do something?
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Well, and I do think it's Joe Hendry's music video about him is amazing.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. When he's throwing the dummy over the rope.
Yeah. But I mean, like Michael Cole, and like you never hear that from like an announcer ever. Like,
no.
Even when it's like, when he's a villain and I don't like him like that, they're putting them over.
Yeah.
Like Michael Cole was just like, this guy's an idiot.
Why we hired him?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Okay, so we got 2 of the 4. What are you going with for DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns?
Before we move on, I do want to bring one other thing I think is going to be a surprise entrant in the men's Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Malachi Black.
That's a good one. I could see that.
He is out of AEW.
Yeah.
I like the House of Black have now been renamed the Hounds of Hell.
Which I like that name. That name.
And like they've openly talked about how like, well, you're leaderless,
Mm-hmm.
So they've made it known Malachi Black is not here. So I could see him. I guess he was Aleister Black in WWE.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
I could see him showing up in the Rumble.
Yep. And Triple H likes him a lot.
Yeah. I guess the other thing, what his wife or his girlfriend is
Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I don't know. I'm not sold on Black as much as everyone else is. I think he did good work in NXT. I liked him there. I don't know. I feel like he has kind of a shelf life with some of his things. It's like the Wyatt Six. Like, I would love to. I feel like they've dropped the ball with him. That's another rant. But like, I felt like they dropped the ball with them. You know, do they even show up in the Rumble? Does any of them?
Right.
And that's sad. I mean,
but here's the thing. I would buy popcorn and I would sit down and I would watch Malachi Black and Karrion Kross.
I agree.
That would be a feud I would enjoy.
I could see them teasing that in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Malachi Black's a good surprise entry. My big one is I think Josh Alexander shows up.
Okay. Would not surprise me.
They did say one of the old timers that they're talking to. The rumor is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I was like, of course.
Like, I don't know. That would be awful.
It's going to be. And do you trust tossing him over the ropes?
No. No. I mean, that man could break a hip.
Or his head, just his neck.
Yeah. Like, if you want to bring back like an old timer, like you got to start looking to the late 90s.
Yeah.
Like you can't go back. Like we're going to bring back the very first Royal Rumble entrant or winner. Like, no.
Can we get Big John Studd? Oh, could you imagine Saudi Arabia next year? Can you get Big John Studd? He's been dead for 25 years. Yokozuna?
Yeah.
Can we get Hulk Hogan? Well, we could. So here's from Screen Rant, the men's surprise entries. They're counting down. Who could be?
You're right.
AJ Styles.
How's he? Like he's already there.
Yeah, but I guess he's been out for a long time.
Okay.
But sure. Trick Williams. I could see that.
Yeah.
Aleister Black. Malachi. Let's see here. I'm just going through. It's taking forever. Come on, scroll down. Joe Hendry, which I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's a surprise. I think that's like
Shawn Michaels. No. I don't see that happening. Big E. Oh, I forgot about Big E.
That would be cool.
It would be, but I don't think it happens. I
don't think so either. Like I don't think he's cleared for.
And he may not want to be honest with you. And then I did see this floating around that after number 30, they're going to count down the clock, and number 31 is going to come out The Rock, and he's going to use his power as one of the CEOs or whatever he is on the board for WWE. Yes. I'm like, ugh, please don't do that.
That would be hysterical, though. I'll be honest, I would laugh my ass off if like all of a sudden the timer starts clicking down. You're like, well, there's already 30 minutes, and it's like, you know, The Rock's music hits, and you're just like, oh, that is like, I would actually applaud that. How
about this? Cena throws somebody over. He thinks he wins, and then the clock comes down. It's The Rock. That's the ultimate troll move, right?
The way that becomes the ultimate troll move is if it's CM Punk.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Like CM Punk finally thinks he's getting his WrestleMania main event.
Yes.
The Rock at number 31.
That would be funny. That would be funny. And then Rollins helps them throw Punk over. It comes down to Punk and Rollins. Punk throws Rollins over. He thinks he won. Clock ticks down to The Rock. That would be funny. That would be. Then Cody would win keep the title. Then he could face The Rock.
Yeah.
Shit. Now I'm kind of buying into that. Son of a bitch. I kind of like it.
But that would be like if it was Cena, it would be kind of like, you know, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, heartbreaking because you're like, it's his last year. But if it was Punk, because of all the times The Rock fucked over out of getting the WrestleMania main event, and even like last year after the Royal Rumble, Punk was like, you think you're getting your WrestleMania main event to Cody, but you know, some part-timer is going to come and take your spot. And it was like, it was supposed to be The Rock.
Yes.
That would be tremendous.
Okay, I'm going with that as my backup. If Cena doesn't win, it's The Rock.
that is my best case scenario. Is it's CM Punk, and then at number 31, here comes The Rock to ruin it for him.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of rooting for that now. I'm rooting for it. Okay, moving on. Are we both in agreement that DIY wins? Or do you think Motor City Machine Guns do? Best 2 out of 3 falls is nice. I like that.
Yeah, because WWE doesn't do it very often. I couldn't last time they did a 2 out of 3 falls match. And with these, this is just going to be like if they do it right, it's like a 45-minute banger.
Yes. I feel like it's going to be 20.
Yeah, it probably will be. It'll probably be 20.
But it should be a 40-minute one. I agree.
Yeah. And I just to contradict you, I'm going to go with the Guns.
Okay.
Because I can see either team winning this.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly do, but I feel like whoever wins it, we all win because they're just going to put on a hell of a match.
Yeah, and part of me goes, okay, the Guns win. Gargano gets turned on again. There's your WrestleMania moment. But I think they're leaning more towards Zayn versus Owens, and I don't think you have two teams break up. Or not two. I know that Owens and Zayn are not a team, but you know what I mean. Like two former partners. I don't see DIY doing this year. And I kind of like that Gargano's a heel now. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's still too early in their run to lose it again. But part of me is like, damn, that sucks for the Guns because they came in with all this hype and and they're still doing great. Like, I think even if they lose, they'll be fine. But it's like I could see them winning it. But I think it's too early in the DIY's run to do it. So.
I agree with you. And like, if you have DIY winning, like you could take that to WrestleMania. Like you could continue the feud because like the only thing weaker than the WWE tag team divisions is Braun Strowman running around the ring.
Here I come. Don't mind me.
Here
okay. I'm still waiting. Jacob's like, dude, come on. Let's go.
Yeah. But so like you could have like that feud go on for a while.
Yeah.
And then like you even though this is a 2 out of 3 falls, like if I would love if they would do something at WrestleMania where it's like, okay, DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns in a steel cage.
I think it goes to a ladder match, a TLC match with a couple other teams.
Like I feel like with the WWE, like that's their like when it comes to tag teams, like they don't put tag teams in a cage.
No.
Like, and I wish they would because like I go back to like the Young Bucks against the Lucha Brothers.
Yes.
In a cage. And that match was phenomenal.
It was.
You can do tag team matches in a cage and they work, but like WWE's like, no, we don't do that.
How dare we?
We put the belts up in the air. Okay, that works too.
I think the last one was New Day versus Usos. It was a cage match. That was a good match too.
That would have been, yeah.
I think it's going to be at WrestleMania, not to go down, because we'll have a WrestleMania one too. I think it's going to be DIY, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, and another team for like a TLC match or a ladder match. I could see that happening.
The Good Brothers, or the Good? No.
The
guys who were with Chad Gable.
Oh, the Creed Brothers.
Creed Brothers, that's it, yeah.
I could see something like that.
Yeah. Pretty Deadly looked pretty damn, like, I've always thought of them as kind of a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty damn good on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, they took it to another level. I was like, oh, that's impressive.
So, and I keep forgetting that they were in NXT UK or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I keep forgetting about that. I like Pretty Deadly. I enjoy them. And I'm hoping that they get a little bit more edge to them because they're a good tag team. They're never going to be your face of the tag teams, but they're like you said, they're good hands to have. They remind me of the Rougeau brothers from some of the 80s and 90s. Good bad guys. Yeah, they can be good guys sometimes. And they're kind of jokes in the ring, but they can wrestle.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like they took it to another level on Monday. I was like, I didn't know you guys had that.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going, and I agree with you. I think with this match, you could flip a coin and it wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't. Yeah. So, and then finally, we have the women's rumble.
Yeah.
The least promoted, like, I think we have 6 entries. Let's see. We have Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Liv Morgan as the 6 people entered officially. Yay.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure this week they'll be at it more, but still.
Yeah. I think you're surprised of Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Who's now going to be a WWE super. I have Mislavovich from TNA show up with the belt as they've done the past 3 years now.
Yeah. Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch shows up as a surprise. I think Mickie James shows up as a surprise.
I would be okay with that.
I could see that because with Aldis there.
Yeah.
I think Becky Lynch comes back. I like Becky a lot, but I'm like, whatever.
Well, I mean, like, first off, I mean, we know Charlotte's winning it.
Here's Pookie. If we don't talk about Pookie, where is he? We always got to talk about where's Pookie. Or Poochie, sorry.
Poochie, yeah. She has to have the rematch with Rhea Ripley. I know.
I know you're right. But I can't pick her. I can't. A part of my soul would die if I picked her.
I'm not picking because I want to. I'm just picking her because it's the most logical thing.
I know, but I don't want to pick her.
I know.
I don't want to be a pirate. I don't want to be her.
I'm not, I don't have the disdain for her that you do.
Ugh. And as a wrestler, she's fine. She doesn't do anything. I feel like she's missed more moonsaults in her life than anybody. But as a person, whatever. But I think it's because Vince threw her down our throats so many times.
Yeah.
When she's like, "Oh, I'm a 10-time women's champ." Yeah, but your title reign's 18 days. Shut the fuck up. You haven't done anything. Well,
I mean, technically, your dad has the same thing.
Yeah, but
there were a few Nature Boy runs where you were like, "Oh,
the Ronnie Garvin run."
Yeah.
What the fuck happened there? Hey, let's give it to Ronnie Garvin. The Hands of Stone.
Oh,
Hands of Stone. I will say though, I did like the feud with Greg Valentine that he had when he was the ref. He became a ref.
Yeah, but like you go back to you're talking about Ronnie Garvin. He was a guy I never understood why people liked him.
No.
My dad was like, I like Ronnie Garvin. I'm like, why? He's got the personality of a tablet.
Yes. Ronnie, how do you feel? Fine. Ask him an open-ended question. What do you think the key is to winning this? To win. That's not the answer. What are you doing? Ronnie, we're giving you some mic time. Okay. Thanks, Ronnie.
He was just so bad. And even his wrestling style was boring as fuck.
I feel like 95% of his wrestling style was a punch and a kick. That's it.
It was a punch, a kick, and a headlock. He would put you in a headlock for 10 minutes.
That's right.
The king of the rest hold. It's an 11-minute match. 10 of it was in a headlock. And I go back. I watch those old the NWA, the World Class.
Yeah.
The TBS studio show.
Yeah.
I grew up on loving, and a Ronnie Garvin match comes on, and I'm sitting there this is still on? What the hell?
Well, I'm going to go make a sandwich. I'll be back. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Like, they were just so bad and so boring. And then they put the belt on them.
Yes.
In Chicago.
And the crowd goes mild?
Yeah, like, it was like the worst reception you could have possibly gotten for a new champion. Like, the crowd was stunned in silence. It's like really, they did this?
Oh, they said, let's see here.
And then Ronnie Garvin has the gall to badmouth Dusty Rhodes. The motherfucker put the belt on you. You couldn't do the job.
Key points about Garvin's title win. The NWA needed a champion to face off against the WWF's growing popularity at the time, and he was selected as a temporary holder while Flair was positioned to regain it later. At the time, he was 42 years old. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jeez. He saw this as a potential last chance to hold a major title, so he said, yeah, I'll do it. Even though he knew it was a short reign.
Jimmy Garvin would have been a better choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
At least he had personality.
Yes. God. If anybody had talking Ronnie Garvin on your bingo card here, let me know. They said Flair was okay with Garvin getting the title because he knew he wasn't a threat to popularity. That's on Jim Ross's podcast.
Yeah. Like, I know. Like, I've heard Ronnie Garvin, Dusty Rhodes was a motherfucker. I'm like, he put the belt on you.
Yeah.
Like, nobody would have done that. Nobody would have positioned you the way Dusty Rhodes did. You owe Dusty Rhodes everything.
He sucks eggs.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I want to say, again, the Kevin Owens credit.
Yes.
The Cody Sucks Eggs shirt last night. And then the Canadian Dream, Son of a Security Ambulance Specialist.
Oh, my God.
Have been phenomenal.
Did you see he wore Naomi's shirt on SmackDown when he went against Jay?
That
or Jimmy?
That was one of the best troll moves I've ever seen.
Oh, my God. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to see. Could you imagine if he comes out dressed in polka dots on next Saturday?
Seth Rollins already did that, though.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Yeah.
But, man, that would be funny.
It would be.
Or he comes with a Stardust face mask.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. But, yeah, the Cody Sucks Egg shirt last night, got me the pop.
Yeah.
And I know that's from the WWE crowd, maybe 10 people got that shirt. But those of us who did, that was well done, Kevin Owens. Well done.
So back to the Women's Rumble.
Women's Rumble.
That's how exciting this is because they haven't really promoted much. The surprise entries are supposedly Mickie James, Michelle McCool, Nikki Bella, and possibly Gail Kim. Interesting. I heard Nikki Bella is probably coming back.
I'm surprised she's coming back to WWE, though.
Yeah. I mean,
even though they kind of the Bella twins were kind of bad mouthing it, and then everything with their dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. I feel
that's why they're coming back to restore the family name.
My stepdad's a piece of shit. We know. We're sorry.
Yeah.
I
see where there's step.
I think I would be more upset if Nikki Bella won the Rumble instead of Charlotte Flair. I think I found somebody that was worse.
Wow.
I could see Nikki Bella getting the Iron Man award. I feel like she's going to be in it a while, which would be hell. Hey, you haven't wrestled in 5 years. Get back in there and go 80 minutes. I hope you don't mind.
Did you say AJ Lee?
I did. That was my next one. I've not gotten to her yet. Yeah, AJ Lee.
Okay. Yeah, I could see if Mrs. Brooks was to enter the Rumble.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so am I.
Let's see. Yeah, that's the only ones I can see right now. So you're going Charlotte?
I am, yeah.
I don't know who I want. I really don't. It's tough.
The only reason I'm going with Charlotte is because it's been enough time between her and Rhea Ripley, and they had an amazing match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Charlotte's kind of been gone ever since that match.
Yeah.
So for her to come back and like win the Rumble and say, "Okay, it's me and you one more time."
Yeah.
Like that makes sense to me, and that's from the standpoint of what makes money. That makes money.
Yeah. I mean, my thought is it's probably going to be Charlotte. I could see it being Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And doing a passing of the torch to either Tiffany or Rhea. Personally, I thought one of the upset or the surprises could be Naomi winning it, but I think Jade comes back at it and beats the shit out of her because she's the one that took Jade out. Which I think is going to be the key. I think that's going to be how it pays off. And then your WrestleMania match is going to be Naomi versus Jade and Bianca involved somehow, maybe? I'm not sure. Or Bianca and Jade defending their titles against Naomi and a person of her choosing.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. Just because I don't want to go with Charlotte, it will be different. I'll pick Becky Lynch. Has she ever won it?
The Rumble?
Yeah, let's see.
I think so, yeah.
Has Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble? 2019. Okay.
Yeah, that was the year. Yeah. That would have been the year that her and Charlotte and
Rhea. Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
They main evented.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm going with her. I think that's the... Let's see here. Odds on favorite for a Royal Rumble 2005. Let me just see what the betting lines are.
Sure.
Let's see. John Cena's the favorite.
Okay.
Let's see here. Whoops, let me go back here. Sorry, podcast listeners. Betting odds. There we go. Let's see what we got. John Cena's the favorite. CM Punk's number 2. Let's see here. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson are the top 5. Oh, I didn't even think about this one. Randy Orton. Wow.
He's been... I would not complain if Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble. And I could see like him and Cody.
That would be fun.
Yeah. But he hasn't been around.
Yeah. And I could still see him doing it.
Yeah.
But maybe at Elimination Chamber. But I didn't even think about him. It's been so long that I completely forgot about him.
Yeah, if you have Cody win the ladder match,
mm-hmm.
Cena wins and takes on Gunther, and then you have Randy Orton win the Elimination Chamber to take on Cody.
Yeah. So let's see here. Making sure those were the updated odds. Yeah. Cena, Punk, Rollins, Reigns, Dwayne Johnson. Women's is Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. Who does she face, though? Rhea, maybe?
I could see her taking on Tiffany.
Yeah. That would be kind of a fun match. I'm fine with that. Becky Lynch and Io Sky. And then Jade is the last one, is top 5. I forgot about Io Sky. I like her. That would be kind of a fun shocker. Grace is 7th right now, 8th. Roxanne Perez is up there, but she's pretty far down. But that's interesting.
I'm sure you would be pleased as punch.
I love Roxanne Perez.
I know you do.
God.
I want to see Io Sky and Penta have another match.
Yes. Or how about Chelsea Green and Penta?
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Oh.
That
would be so. And I know WWE will never do it, and more importantly, to the level of violence that you saw in Lucha Underground.
Oh my God, they would go nuts. Well, people are going nuts now because they're promoting WWE 2K25 for the PlayStation and Xbox for next year or this year, and they're bringing back intergender matches, and they're like, "Holy crap, how is that going to work?"
Penta and Io Sky in a lights out.
Oh jeez. Last man standing.
Yeah. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I was just looking here. Yeah, Roxanne Perez is at 33 plus 3,300, so she is not doing it. She's one of the least, but yeah.
That's a shit. Like she had a rocket strapped to her back for a while there.
She did.
And then she got injured, unfortunately, and like now she's like, muscle for Liv Morgan.
Let's see here. So Royal Rumble Iron Man Awards. Odds. I'm sorry, odds. And this you can all bet. This is from Oddspedia. So you can bet on this, which amazes me. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. What's that?
If you bet on professional wrestling,
yes.
You probably also bought Hawk Tuah girls
Hawk Tuah. Hey, it's a good investment. She should go to jail. Maybe you shouldn't be buying stuff based on Hawk Tuah. Maybe it's your own fault.
Like, come on. Like, how stupid are you?
Did you see, I don't know if have you watched Squid Game season 2?
No, I have not.
Okay. So, my oldest son and I are watching it, and we just finished it last night. And it was funny because one of the people in there is in debt because he was a YouTuber and he had a cryptocurrency that he was promoting and it went belly up. And one of the other guys in it is like, "You're the one that screwed me out of the cryptocurrency." And I looked at my son, I was like, "Son, if you ever do an investment from a YouTuber, you deserve to lose everything. Don't do that." It was just funny though. I was like, it was definitely the Hawk Tuah moment. Like, oh,
even if somebody solid like Mr. Beast,
yes,
was to like, I have a crypto coin. I'm like, well, I would not invest in that.
No, don't. Jay Uso and Sami Zayn are the other two for the longest. Oh, jeez.
I could see Sammy being the guy.
Yeah.
I can see him coming out. Because this is where it gets funny. Like, let's say Sammy wins it.
Uh-huh.
Some reason. Does the Royal Rumble match take place before the world title match? And if Sammy wins it, does he then interfere so that Kevin wins the title?
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yeah, because they had that moment on Raw where Kevin Owens is like, I'll help you if you help me.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that the women's title or women's Rumble will go on first, DIY, then Cody, and then the men's. Because I think since the men's title is the only one on the line that night, you can't have it go on. You can't have the men's Rumble before it. Because I think that predicts who wins the next match then. The Cody match. So I think
Cena.
That's true. You could do the Cena thing if you do Cena.
The only way it predicts the Cody match is if it's Sami Zayn.
Or Orton.
Or Roman.
Or Roman, yeah.
Yeah, there are one or two guys that may be like, okay, yeah, but
that's true.
It's going to be a weird, I don't know how you build that, because a good ladder match should be at least a half hour, 40 minutes.
Yes.
And that's this may be one of the long, one of my criticisms of AEW is always their pay-per-views are too fucking long.
Oh my God, they're 17 hours long.
They are. And that was always a criticism of WWE, especially for WrestleMania when it was one night. It was it started at like 5 PM. It didn't finish until midnight.
Yeah.
Like, which is why they split it, which makes sense. But like, I could see this being like starting at 8 o'clock and finishing like around 11:30.
Yeah, because especially now since they do the post, the conference after, or what do you call it? The interviews after. Yeah. So
yeah, it's this is one of those nights where I think they go long just because the 2 Royal Rumble matches are always about at least an hour.
Yeah,
and then the like the DIY match is going to be, like you said, probably 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then Cody and Kevin, that's got to go at least a half hour, 40 minutes.
I would think 40. And can we all agree that? Can we both agree that there's going to be a ladder in the ring? Cody's going to be on the announce table. Kevin is going to do a cannonball jump or moonsault off the top of the ladder onto the table, and Cody's going to move. That's happening.
Yeah.
So the short that you can bet on the shortest stay in the Rumble. Men's is Austin Theory and Dominic Mysterio and The Miz. They're all the even.
I'm going to go with Dominic Mysterio
I do too.
Come in and go right the fuck back out.
Yep, I do too. Which would be funny.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Is R-Truth going to enter the Women's Rumble again?
No, because he's already made that joke.
I know. I did like when he tag teamed in the other when he was tag team.
That was tremendous.
That was awesome. I would think Kofi and Xavier Woods are in it, right?
Yeah, I would imagine they would be.
But you know that Kofi's not going to have a special way to stay in the ring now that he's a heel. I wouldn't think that they would do it that way. I hope not either. I hate that whole both feet have to hit the ground. Well, my hands are on the ground. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they do it just because it's his gimmick.
Yeah, but
like, you know, they'll do something, but maybe it'll because he's a heel now. They'll do something, but it'll backfire.
Yeah,
and that it gets him eliminated.
Yeah. So there's your women's role. So you're going Charlotte. I'm going Becky.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm not very confident in my pick for Becky. I'm not confident in any of my picks for the women's Rumble, actually. I feel good with Cena. You talked me into it. And that's probably about the only one I feel good about. But now I really want The Rock to screw out Punk. That's what I want.
If that was to happen, like I would probably like be DMing you immediately. Like,
oh my God. Immediately I'm going to be like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
Which one of the four, before we wrap this up, which one of the four are you most excited to watch of the matches?
I think the world title match.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, just because Cody's already been in what I consider one of the best ladder matches I ever saw, and that was the one with him and Sammy Guevara for the TNT title.
Yeah.
His last match in AEW, and he just went all out.
Yeah.
Like it's a amazing, and Sammy gives that cutter off the top of the ladder, and I'm like, I don't know how either of them fucking survived.
No. Like, is that the one they caught on fire?
No, that was against Andrade.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that was fucking horrible.
Don't do that, Cody.
Like because the worst part of it was he knew he was set, like they planned it out. Like, I'm setting the table on fire, so they put this like fire retardant gel on Cody's back,
and
halfway through the match, it looked like he had leprosy.
He did, and
then to top it off, when they pull off, because it was a superplex off the top rope. And Andrade doesn't even hit the table. Cody does. Cody's the one who goes through the fucking table because he's the one who's got the fire retardant stuff on.
Yes.
So, like, the move makes no fucking sense from the standpoint of it should have been Andrade. Like, that was the one match I'm like watching. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
So I wonder, it's got to be different because it's a ladder match, but how much do they call back to Dusty Rhodes and Terry Funk's feud in this? Right?
Yeah.
I wonder if, and I'm just trying to go through, they had a Texas death match. I mean, they feuded all the time, but I'm just wondering, because Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes were both they love the history of wrestling. Yeah. So it would not surprise me that they go back to that. I'm just trying to see, they had a barbed wire match. They both knocked each other out cold. I was just trying to see if there was anything special, like a specific one. And I could be wrong, but I am excited about that match. I will say, I think the men's Rumble is the one I'm most excited about. I love the Rumble, but the last couple have been fine. They've gotten better, but I feel like this has some of the biggest names since 92 with Ric Flair winning it. There are some big names, and I feel like there's a lot of options on who could win it. Most years it's there's 3 guys that can win it. Great. Right. Which is why I was mad that Santino Marella didn't win the one, because it would have been a shocker, and I like shocking wins. And that crowd was loving him in that one too. Fucking Del Rio. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the men's Rumble. That's the one I'm most excited about, just because I think there's a lot of good names in it, and there's another one that you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think the men's Rumble match is going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be the one when you get down to the final 4, you're going to be okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be some fantastic moments. I think that you're going to see some feuds begin. Obviously, the go-to WrestleMania from this match. So I think this is the match that kind of sets the pace for the next 2-3 months,
which is what it should. It should. I think it sets Seth versus Punk up. I think even if it's not for the title, I could see it KO versus Zayn. It sets up. And then Drew versus Roman. I think you're right.
What we have not mentioned at all, surprisingly, is Damian Priest.
Oh, yeah. Now SmackDown, Damian Priest.
Yes. I'm sure he's going to be in this, as he should. And, there's a guy who, I guess, I wouldn't imagine he would win it.
No, I don't think. At least not this year.
Yeah, but does he go to the chamber? So let's just say Roman wins it, and so obviously he's going to be. It's him and Cody.
Yeah.
3. Can Damian Priest go to the Elimination Chamber then, and then get the rematch with Gunther?
Yeah, I hope they don't go down that route.
Yeah.
Because Finn Balor's going to be in it. Can we please not do the Judgment Day versus Damian Priest again? Let's end that feud.
I think that's why they moved him to SmackDown, to get him away from the Judgment Day.
I feel like he fits on SmackDown. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him there. Yeah, that is true. We haven't really talked. He's kind of directionless right now.
Yeah, because with him moving to SmackDown, he kind of has to reestablish himself.
Yeah, I don't know what feud he would get on SmackDown for WrestleMania.
Do
Nakamura?
Does he go for the U.S. title with Nakamura then?
Yeah,
that could be a good match.
Yeah, that is a good call. I completely forgot about Priest.
Yeah. I could see him being here's a guy I could see coming in at in the first 10 and then lasting 20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
With maybe 5 people he knocks out. He's
eliminated Dominic Mysterio. Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's happening. That's not changing.
Yeah, that's the guy who Dom enters the ring and Priest immediately throws him the fuck out.
Yes. Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
It's a Bushwhacker Luke thing. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah, so but that's the guy like we kind of haven't talked about, which is surprising when you think about where he's kind of stood as a main player.
Yeah.
Over the past year.
How about this? Big surprise. Kane wins it.
You mean cocaine?
Or Jesus the wrestler. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, my God. I did see the cocaine one. No, I think Kane comes back. I think he's a spry 58-year-old. I think he'll come back and win. Just to get the most eliminations, to take that back from Roman. Remember when they pushed Roman down everybody's throat? That worked out well. God. Okay, so there's our things. I'll go through this real quick here. Sean has Cody winning, Cena winning, the Guns, and Charlotte.
Yes.
I have Kevin Owens, Cena, DIY, and Becky Lynch. I'll be honest. I do not feel good about this. But that's okay.
Well, we did so well on the Survivor Series one. So.
I don't know what you're talking about. Jeez. So Sean, I appreciate you doing this. This is great.
I appreciate you doing it as well. I mean, who else could I throw a Ronnie Garvin reference at that get it?
I'm going to be sending you Ronnie Garvin stuff now.
Yeah. You'll be scouring X looking for any Ronnie Garvin reference.
Hold on. Okay, so while I have y'all, before we end this, hold on. Let me see here. I'm going to put in Ronnie Garvin into Twitter here. Well, not Tony Farvin. That's what I put. Let's try some. Damn it. Not Tony. Ronnie Garvin. Let's see what we brings up. First thing that brings up, Alan 4L has Ronnie Garvin was incredible. Nope.
Nope.
Derek T. Lewis had Rugged Ronnie Garvin versus Greg the Hammer Valentine submission match at the Rumble 1990. Okay, I'll give you that. That's about the only good one he's ever had.
Yeah. And that's probably Greg Valentine. One of the most underrated, when you talk about underrated wrestlers, nobody remembers Greg Valentine. That guy was a beast.
He was. Here we go. The next thing is Mellow Yellow had a sponsorship with the NWA back in the 80s, and they put their wrestlers' faces on it. Ronnie Garvin had one.
Wow. I remember Dusty doing the Mellow Yellow commercial.
Really?
Yes.
So the most expensive one is, oh God, Horner, Zabisco, and Garvin. 3 cans for $120. Jesus. Ronnie Garvin is $47. Ooh, Magnum TA is $25. That should not be right.
That should be reversed.
Nikita Koloff is $25.
Oh, that's a sin.
What the hell? And I like that they put on here, it's pre-owned. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. If there's still Mellow Yellow in that can, it'd be a biohazard. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Nikita Koloff was so sold into his gimmick. He changed his name legally to Nikita Koloff and talked like that 24/7.
Really?
For a long, he dated women who did not know he was not a Russian.
That's funny.
He would just talk like he was so bought in on his gimmick, he completely lived it for a very long time. And I was just like, how do you do that?
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It is, because I am Nikita Koloff. I will make love to you now. What the fuck?
He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of wrestling.
Yes. That was tremendous. And years later, I guess after he quit, he was like, I stopped doing it and I changed my name back to my real name. What the fuck? Dude.
Here we go. Stan Garvin on Twitter. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Stan, are you related to Ronnie Garvin?
Yeah. The love that people, and maybe I'm missing something, but then with you, Rick, reinforcing my opinion, I'm not. He has the personality of Stone.
I do like this one. Retro Wrestling Podcast. This is the last one. It's, Rugged Ronnie Garvin. It shows a video of Dino Bravo beating up some jobber and Ronnie Garvin not counting when he was a referee. And it goes, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, shitty referee. Oh, my God.
And then when he went to WWE, and he did the Rugged Ronnie Garvin gimmick, that was even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think man, Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin, that's bad. You're just but then you go and Vince is like, we're gonna make you a man's man.
You get to punch him in the chest.
Yeah. It's a heart punch. It's the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling.
So this is bad. This is awesome. So this Twitter account for OTP Wrestling, they literally have 5 referee videos of Ronnie Garvin. I keep saying shitty referee Garvin, Ronnie Garvin, shitty referee, and they keep showing different ways he was.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Okay, well, Sean, where can we find you at?
Well, you can find our podcast, the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast, where most great podcasts are found on any podcatcher, really. We are on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you call it, and also Facebook. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. We're very, very easy to find. We are also on Mastodon, which
what's that?
It was one of these spring up social media. I tried figuring it out, I couldn't. People are like, "Well, you're an idiot." I'm like, well, you're probably right. But if I can't figure it out, I'm not. So I post there, but I can't tell you the last time I opened that app.
Yeah, kind of like us with Tumblr. I don't know how it works, but we're on it somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
That and porn.
Yeah,
we joined Threads a while back, and we post every couple of weeks on there. But it's I guess this worked, but no, it's not. It's not great.
I thought about joining Blue Sky, but I'm I don't know.
We joined Blue Sky not for any political reasons, just to get our name out there. On it, and it's fine. It literally is Twitter.
Yeah, I'm just at a point where it's I don't have enough time to we're not on TikTok. You're not gonna anything like that. But it's I just don't have time to
how
post
about
20 different social medias or pay attention to them. So it's Twitter and Facebook work.
Here's what we do, Sean. You and I get a TikTok account. Okay, you ready for this? You ready?
Yeah.
Once a month, you come to Cincinnati or I come to Pittsburgh, and we do 50 videos at a time because they're only 2-minute videos, right?
Yeah.
And we reenact great moments in wrestling. First one, Ronnie Garvin versus Ric Flair. Second, Jacob Fatu picking up Braun Strowman after he runs/walks around the ring. Because I feel like we could make that pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I'll half run, with a walker or something, like a cane, and come at you. I feel like this would really help our podcast. I feel like we could do this. I'm just saying, I think it's a great idea. It's $1 million idea.
And then we could do like they do on TikTok, where it's a half a screen. So half the screen is us reenacting the great moment.
Yep.
And then the other half of the screen is the great moment, so you can see just how close we are in our portrayal.
We would have to bring Jim in, my co-host, and we'll do you could be the shitty referee, Ronnie Garvin. I'll be Dino Bravo, and he could be the jobber. I like this idea. I like this. I'll start listing off. We'll do the Punji Bar match or whatever it is that Great Khali was in. We'll just have bamboo laying around. Or 2x4s, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that we could do with this. I think it would work. Great moments in wrestling history reenacted by 2 middle-aged men.
Who was it that I just saw Ricky Morton gave somebody a Canadian destroyer.
Oh, I did see that.
I was just like, what? Why? What is Ricky Morton like? Okay.
Yes. Hold on, I'm going to find that here. I did see that.
Ricky Morton's like 106.
Let's see here. Oh my God, who is that? Santana? Back when Rock, that was from 2000. Yeah, that was a while. Oh, he hit his son Kerry with the Canadian destroyer.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So he hits him with it, and then Kerry gets up and like looks to where the ropes are, gets to the ropes, and then like slowly rolls and like flips over.
Yeah, but like it was horrific to watch.
Oh
but
my God.
What is Ricky Morton still like? And then and then like the funny thing is like I guess AEW was in Tennessee in Knoxville.
Yeah.
And the Death Riders like were beating up.
Yes.
I guess FTR and the Rock and Roll Express. I'm like, what's the Rock and Roll Express even fucking doing there?
Yes.
And like, why are the Death Riders beating up the Rock and Roll Express?
He's 68 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say he looks like he moves better than his son.
he moves better than Braun Strowman.
Well, that's true. Poor Braun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm taking it to Braun today. But yeah, I mean.
Oh my God. Yeah, there's like Canadian destroyers with him throughout on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then AEW was in Cincinnati. They did the small like, and I'll give them this much credit. Like they're smart enough. Like okay, we need to stop going into large venues. We need to like start going into theaters.
Yes.
And they did that one. I don't know what the theaters. Maybe you know it better than I. I'm sure you would. It was in Cincinnati. And it was like the oddest looking thing I ever saw. But it was like it looked good on TV. It's
a new arena they built, like a small one. I think it's like 3,500 people that it can hold. I will tell you this. When I went to look for tickets for that, because I was thinking about going, there literally was only like 1,000 seats sold. That was a week and a half before.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap. It did look nice, but yeah, I'm glad they're doing it, but yeah. So, okay. Well, I hope that gets everybody up on your Ricky Morton, Ronnie Garvin news for the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a podcast talking about modern wrestling. We're throwing back to Ronnie Garvin and Ricky Morton.
So at the WrestleMania one that we do, please send us in requests on who you want us to talk about from the old times. We'll be happy to do it. Just let us know. Dino Bravo, anybody you want, let me know, and we'll make it happen. Coco Beware, was it Samba Simba? Can we not talk about? Oh, sorry, probably shouldn't do that one. Tony Atlas. I need you to go to Africa. What? Thanks, Vince.
I can talk all day about the great Kamala.
Oh yeah, when he hits his belly.
One of my favorite things, and it's like if you look up like Gene Okerlund bloopers.
Yeah,
which are always funny.
They are.
But he was doing like one of those back in those days, they used to do like these pieces, like they'd cut a promo, but it was like specific to a territory. Like, we're going to be in Kansas City, so we're doing like we just talking about going to Kansas City and finding this guy. And Gene Okerlund flat out asks him, "Hey, you missed media yesterday. Where were you?" And he looks at him and like in the Kamala like style, he's like, "Me getting sucky."
God.
It's like, wow. And like Oakland just cracks up, like.
Oh.
So yeah, I skipped my media day because I was getting a blowjob. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, to be honest, that's probably a good way to do it if you're going to miss one, right?
Yeah. Like one of the great, like with the Royal when Flair won the Royal Rumble for the title,
with a tear in my eye.
When the greatest promos of all time, and in the middle of it, in the middle of all this excitement, Gene Okerlund was like, "Hey, put out that cigarette."
Yes. They did on Saturday night's main event. They did call it the Okerlund stage or place. So in honor of him, I do remember that. Put the cigarette out.
Put that cigarette out. Like in the middle of Flair cutting like the greatest promo of all time, and Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect. We hate to be the ones to say we told you so, but we told you so. And Okerlund is telling somebody to put out a cigarette in the middle of all this.
I still like when Flair comes out number 3 and Bobby Heenan's like, damn it. And you hear like a little bit later on Gorilla Monsoon, watch your language.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, everybody. We could do this like a 6-hour podcast, to be honest.
We could. We need to stop. Yeah.
But thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back for WrestleMania. Please be sure to hit us up at Twitter and every other social media thing and tell us how wrong we got everything, because we probably did. But thanks, everybody, for giving us a chance to do some wrestling ones every couple months. And Roger says goodbye.
The dreamer has awakened.
Put that cigarette out. From Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history. Not so bad, there's a history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. History of bad ideas.